Hi, I'm Mike Sullivan, and this is Open Microphone at ASU.
Resistance. I will now read a poem about oppression. Y'all can have your own thoughts about it and come up if you'd like. It's called Enemy of the State by Sunni Al-Qassem.
I seen it with my own two eyes, and I swear like Warren Buffett. Real money,
Opportunity knocked, but I was not at home. For I was bound by circumstances of life. For chances, hope were gone. Then to me she came one day and knocked upon my door once more. Yet even then I could not find my own way, for I lived in darkness and was shackled by chains of war. So her, now, I just sit and wait, staring into empty space, hoping that she will come again and knock once more. And now, my older, tattered door, yeah, what would I say to her? If she were to appear at my door today, should I, with confidence, let her in and tell her I am glad she came again? Or would I fail once more to reach the threshold of my door? For how could I possibly begin when all my life, I have been running against oppression's wind?
For you as a human that believes that humanity should be held at a higher standard. I look around the world and I ask myself, where's the love? That may sound very hippie or whatever you want to call it, but I really firmly believe this. Every time we turn on the TV or we look around, everywhere we go, there's all these injustices. I see more injustice than I see love. I see more injustice and I see less people standing up and doing something about it. It seems like we have to be personally attacked until we have to rise up. Why are we so selfish? Why do we have to wait for the attack? Why do we do this? This coalition of students that was formed because a group of people felt attacked. We felt attacked, so we came together to speak out our voices, our opinions. But why didn't we do this before? Injustices were occurring everywhere, all the time, against our communities and against others. But it wasn't until we felt threatened, until we were offended, that we stood up. And I feel this is part of our human condition, our selfishness, where we are not compelled, for the most part, to actually do something until we're threatened, until it jeopardizes our freedom. And I believe as humans, we should hold ourselves to a higher standard and act out of love. When something bothers us, we think it's unjust, we should do something about it. So I'm here speaking before you, as I said, as a human, believing that as humans, we should hold ourselves to higher standards. This is very abstract thing to say, but we can apply it very concretely to our everyday lives.
11 to 1 o'clock, Monday to Friday. We will be there every day. Hope y'all can join us as we stop Sheriff Joe Arpaio from taking office.
Joe Arpaio, in this next election, please do not vote for him. Vote for anybody else except Joe Arpaio. And you might think, well, he's doing a good job. And why do you think that? Because you were told that. What the propaganda of the news media and the news outlets told you is what you believe. And we all know that you're not supposed to believe everything you hear without doing your own research. Joe Arpaio stands for evil. He's a tyrant. You look up that word. You're all educated, so look up the word tyrant. Joe Arpaio is a minuscule, a small-scale George Bush. You guys know what George Bush has done, so think about what Joe Arpaio is about to do. The walls, the so-called border that they're building is a bunch of crap. If you guys are not familiar with the North American Free Trade Agreement, the NAFTA, all right? It's gonna basically merge Mexico, United States, and Canada. So the border nonsense they're feeding you does not exist. But you guys believe it, and you're following with it just like sheep. And what is a sheep? We're gonna break this down. A sheep is just an organism, a living thing that does and follows anything that the shepherd tells it to do. And people as human beings, we're becoming more animal than human. It's a gift, it's a blessing to have words, to have language, because with this word and language, we can communicate. Other animals don't have this.